College Gym Fits fan, going live on YouTube, streaming live on YouTube. I got my Sling TV app on. I got ESPN on. Or no, actually it's ESPN 3. And it's on demand in the gymnastics section. I'm going to do Kent State versus Central Michigan.
On the campus of Central Michigan University on your Sunday afternoon, we've got some college gymnastics. It's the Kent State Golden Flashes and the Central Michigan Chippewas. Appreciate you stopping in inside McGurk Arena on ESPN alongside former CMU gymnast Abby Roseller. I'm Adam Jackson. And Abby, you know all about this rivalry. When Kent State and Central Michigan get together, we're bound to see some really good gymnastics here in the Mid-American Conference.
Absolutely, absolutely. These are two very hungry, competitive teams, and it's definitely not uncommon for them to have their best meets against each other, so I'm expecting to see some great gymnastics today.
And it comes at a pivotal time, both these teams hoping to peak and continue to improve their overall score. We sit right now on February 16th. The MAC championships are March 21st, so just about a month out until they'll get together all the conference schools and compete over in Kalamazoo. So every meet from here on out is pivotal to try and improve that overall score.
Their overall score, absolutely, and especially because it is a MAC meet today, that's going to contribute to their standing in the MAC conference. So it's definitely a big meet for both teams.
Central Michigan and Kent State getting ready here for the first rotation. Central Michigan will be on the vault, while Kent State will compete on the uneven bars. Today, it is the 83rd all-time meeting between the Chippewas and the Golden Flashes. Central Michigan leading that series 49-33. And you know Kent State comes in very hungry, and they've competed really well lately. Let's start right there. After dropping their opening meet against Northern Illinois, they've now rattled off 8 straight wins.
Very, very impressive. They've had a great streak so far in terms of wins and competitions. So I'm expecting them to do great today. But also CMU's done great as well, so it's going to be a good meet.
Now Central Michigan comes in 3-3 overall, 33rd ranked in the country, which is the highest in the Mid-American Conference. Their qualifying score right now at 194.35, or rather 194.9, while Kent State, they come in 39th ranked in the country at 194.435, fourth best in the conference. But as we mentioned, still plenty of time to improve your overall score and all your rotational scores as well.
Both teams are looking to improve those scores today. They definitely have a history of putting out big scores, and neither team has really reached that mark yet. So I think today is going to be the day that we see some really high numbers.
Chippewas 3-3, 1-1 in the MAC. Kent State, although they've won 8 straight, that lone loss was to Northern Illinois. So this is just their second conference meet. They're 0-1 in the Mid-American Conference. As you see the Chippewas getting ready to go on the vault. Abby, let's start on the vault for CMU. They've had some injuries. There's sicknesses going around. So what are your expectations for Central Michigan on the vault, where they've been really good this season?
Vault's definitely been their most consistent and high-scoring event this far. They are having a little bit of issues in terms of injuries right now, so they're only putting out 5 vaulters, but those are great 5 vaulters, and with our senior Danelle Pedrick too also doing that very high competitive vault, I think it's going to be still a good lineup for them today.
There is Danelle Pedrick right there getting warmed up. Just about 2.5 minutes as the touch warm-ups continue for this first rotation. Central Michigan and Kent State. This afternoon, also the first home meet for CMU. Pretty rare. I know you just got done competing last year, but to think that the first home meet isn't going to come until a month before the MAC championships, that's pretty rare.
There's nothing like competing at home, especially when you've been on the road for this long. It is extremely rare to go 6 weekends without being in your home arena. So I know these girls are extremely excited to be able to compete here in front of their own fans.
There's Christine McDonald. She's hoping she can pick up her first home win as a head coach. her first season. She was named head coach back in May, but she spent 25 plus years as an assistant. And as we know, this is a very prestigious program here in Mount Pleasant. Christine competed here at Central Michigan. You were coached by Christine McDonald, and now she stepped into that head coaching role. Great to see her take over this program.
It truly is. There's no one better fit for this position right now. She has a history. Like you said, she competed here. She definitely embodies that Chippewa pride, and she's leading these teams to greatness.
Christine McDonald, the Chippewa through and through. On the other side, Bryce Biggin, 30 plus years as the head coach at Kent State. He's been with the program for over 40 years, over 20 NCAA regional appearances. He's been named MAC Coach of the Year 11 different times and mentored 8 MAC gymnasts and 49 MAC champions. They recently won the MAC championship in 2015. So again, this is a rivalry because these are two of the better programs in the Mid-American Conference and two great coaches as well. Golden Flashes getting finished up on their touch warm-ups over on the first. They lose on the road this season. Potentially looking for a little payback after the Chippewas won a very close meet last year down at the MAC Center. You were a part of that meet. What do you remember about that one?
It was head-to-head the entire meet. It definitely came down to that last routine. I think we were a quarter, tenth of a difference, and it's those little things that can really win the meet for you.
195.175 was the winning total for Central Michigan last week. All right, Abby, so here we go. It's going to be Nora Fettinger that leads us off. What are you expecting from her?
I expect Nora to do a Yurchenko layout today. This is her first time in the lineup this season. So we'll see what she's about to do. Really nice ball for Nora. She did that Yurchenko layout, which isn't as high of a start value, but it was a very clean ball with just a little step back. So great start for the Chippewas.
What's that like going through that first competition of the year when you've been injured? I mean, obviously the team, and you've been with the team, but to get that first one, kind of get the rust off your belt.
It's always a little nerve-wracking, but Nora does have a lot of experience in this environment and with that pressure on her, so.
On the other side for Kent State, here's Madison Iannuzzo.
She's heading into her dismount now. She did a double layout, pretty big hop back, but a great start.
The sophomore out of Carmel, Indiana, the first to compete for Kent State. We go back to the vault. Here's Morgan Tong for Central Michigan.
Expecting to see a Yurchenko layout half out of Morgan, so a little bit different than what we just saw from Nora.
She was given the MAC Specialist Award of the Week a few weeks back after she competed well at Eastern Michigan. That's the lone conference victory for Central Michigan.
Great vault for Morgan. She got a lot of height off the table, which is what the judges are looking for. She had to step forward, which will be a little bit of reduction, but overall a great vault.
Central Michigan comes into this afternoon's meet with a 49.060 as their average in vault. That's first in the conference and 16th best in the NCAA. They have been so good at the vault throughout this season.
They have really been on fire on this event. Definitely very consistent, beautiful vaults.
And that's continued so far today. A couple of good routines from both Fettinger and Tong. Go back to Kent State. Sammy Nero is competing. She hasn't been in their last couple of meets, getting an opportunity to compete today. Nero last year just competed exhibition a couple of times on bar, so this is a big spot for her to step in, compete here on the road at CMU in what expects to be another very close meet.
It's good that she does have a little bit of experience. It's always nice going into that exhibition spot so that you are prepared when it does come time to be put into lineup when that routine does count.
Yeah, those exhibitions really are crucial, aren't they?
They really are.
Looks like we're just waiting on a couple of judging scores, but the Chippewas are going to dance while they wait, enjoy themselves. A couple of scores up on the board for CMU, a 9.4 for Nora Fettinger, and for Morgan Tong, a 9.675, unofficially up on the video board here. And now the judge is ready, and here goes Sammy Nero for Kent State, senior out of Bainbridge, Ohio.
So Sammy mounts over the low bar. Beautiful cast handstand to start off the routine. Line change. She's going to head down to the low bar. Beautiful release move there. And then back up to the high bar. She's going to finish with the dismount. So far, a wonderful routine. Line full, double back. And she stuck that landing, which is really what you want to see today.
Big hugs from the Golden Flashes teammates. Excellent routine right there from the senior out of Bainbridge, Ohio.
She did a Yurchenko layout full, beautifully done. She got a lot of height off the table and had that straight body and had a great landing as well.
Sierra DeMarinis, sophomore out of Massachusetts. It's a really young team here for Christine McDonald, but she said, you know, although they're trying to figure out lineups and figure out who's fitting into the right spot, she said this may be one of the most talented Central Michigan teams that they've had.
Absolutely. I mean, there's 8 freshmen, but all of them come in with great backgrounds in gymnastics, and there's great leadership on this team as well. So they've really been able to lead these younger girls and been great examples in the gym. So they've really done a great job adapting.
Chippewas coming off a loss at Southern Utah, but Southern Utah put up over a 197, had a career score there. Well, the Chippewas finished with a 194.850. Go back to Kent State on the bars. Olivia Amade.
So she started with a blind full to Kachev. She heads down to the low bar for a bail to handstand. So far, great routine. Nice cast handstands. That's really what you want to see, those handstands on top of the bar. And just a step back on that dismount ball. Overall, a great routine for her.
That's a true freshman, Olivia Amade. Right out of Detroit, so getting a chance to come back in the state of Michigan and compete. Sydney Williams, former vault champ, getting ready to compete here for Central Michigan.
A Yurchenko layout full for Sydney. She had a big step forward, which is going to be a decent-sized deduction.
Chippewa is still supporting the redshirt junior, Sydney Williams. Got injured early on in her career, but she's fought back and become one of the leaders and playing a pivotal role for Christine McDonald's team here in 2020. Golden Flashes with 3 scores up on the board. 9.575 for Ayanuzo. And Nero with a 9.775. Amade with a 9.7. Sierra DeMarinis with the best score on the vault for Central Michigan so far with a 9.75. Here's Carly Franz for Kent State.
Beautiful release to release for her. Nice pass handstand. She's going to head into her dismount now. 2 giants to another double layout. Beautiful form in the air. Just a little bit of a hop back for her.
And you can tell that Kent State's come in with a lot of momentum. As we mentioned off the top, 8 straight wins, and they look very confident and are providing a lot of energy early on in this meet.
Yes, confident, clean gymnastics.
Here's one of the most consistent gymnasts in the entire conference, Danelle Pedrick, the senior.
Danelle's going to do a Yurchenko double full. Wonderful vault. That's a little bit different than what we see from the other girls. That starts from a 10-0, and it's about the hardest vault that you're going to see in collegiate gymnastics.
And she's been doing that for a couple of years now.
Yes, she has, and she does it amazing.
The reigning MAC Gymnast of the Year, Danelle Pedrick. She also has got the top average in the all-around so far this year in 2020 in the Mid-American Conference as you take another look at that last routine.
Danelle's just an extremely hard-working athlete. She's very consistent. She's a great leader and a great example for these younger girls on the team.
Coach McDonough put it, she comes from a very competitive family. Her dad, a hockey coach. Her mom's got athletic genes as well. And since she came to Central Michigan on this campus, she has been really good in gymnastics from day one to this point in her career.
She sure has.
This is Rachel DeCavich for Kent State.
So she mounts the low bar, and she does a beautiful chapache back up to the high bar. Down to the low bar with a pack salto. Beautifully done. Another great last cast handstand. And a stuck dismount for Kent State.
Golden Flash is rolling here in this first rotation. A lot of sticks at the end of these rotations and routines. That one right there from Rachel DeCavich, a freshman. She's currently the second all-around score this year in the American Conference, 39.4. She's been named MAC Gymnast of the Week a couple different times for the Golden Flashes. Again, a true talent as just a freshman coming in for Bryce Biggins' squad.
Yeah, definitely expecting to see a big score out of that routine.
9.775 for Nero, 9.75 for Franz. DeCavich's score will come next. And then Jay Brown, the senior, will finish things off for Kent State. And in the meantime, Abby, as we talked about, Central Michigan only vaulting 5 gymnasts because of those injuries and some of the sicknesses that they're going through. So a lot of pressure when you're only vaulting 5, when normally you're vaulting 5 or you're vaulting 6 so you can count just 5.
Yeah, normally you put up 6 competitors and then you choose the best 5 scores out of those 6 competitors. So only having 5 to go off of, it definitely adds some pressure.
Right now unofficially, Central Michigan with a 48.3 on the vaults. Their best score, Danelle Pedrick with the 9.825.
Down to the low bar with a fail a handstand. She heads back up to the high bar for a dismount. Great routine so far. She does a double layout, just a little bit of a hop on that landing, but a great bar rotation for Kent State.
Golden Flash is putting up some good scores. DeCavich right now the leader, the 9.85. She was the last to go, and pretty cool for Jade Brown to come back and compete. She's a Twist Stars gymnast down in Lansing, went to Waverly High School, so about an hour south of here. I'm sure she's got family members and friends up here watching her at Central Michigan today.
I'm sure she does.
You take a look at the vaults. What stuck out to you for Central Michigan on the vault, Abby?
Definitely Danelle. She does a beautiful job in the air, straight body. You saw just a little bit of a hop from her, but that double full Yurchenko is an extremely impressive vault that you typically see in the elite scene. It's not very common to see that in collegiate gymnastics.
Kent State going to have the lead after one rotation, just waiting for the score from Jane Brown, and it's a 9.825. So best score to DeCavich, 9.85. And it looks like we'll have one exhibition as well for the Golden Flashes.
blind change to Jaeger down to the low bar. Very nicely done. She finishes her routine with a double wrap. Just a small step back, but overall that was a beautiful routine.
That finishes off what was a really nice rotation from Kent State. We'll break down the scores when we come back, but it looks like the Golden Flashes have the lead after one in Mount Pleasant.
We made USAA insurance for busy veterans like Kate. So when her car got hit, she didn't waste any time. She filed a claim on her USAA app and said, that was easy. USAA, what you're made of, we're made for.
Where did I put my Fire Stick remote?
Lexios. Add toilet paper to the shopping list.
I'd like to fast forward through this commercial.
And camel milk.
And moisturizer.
Thanks, guys. I'll take it from here.
Adam Jackson, former CMU gymnast Abby Roseller back in Mount Pleasant for a MAC battle between Central Michigan and Kent State. Chippewa's first home duel of the season. And there you see the scores after one rotation, but the best one coming from Danelle Pedrick.
Now, she definitely put the exclamation point on the end of that rotation for the Chippewas.
She had a 9.825. This is Jade Brown, who had a great score. High 9.7s. Their best score came from Rachel DeCavich, a 9.850. But, Abby, when you take a look at Kent State, a team that's won 8 in a row, they really started off strong over on the uneven bars.
They sure did. They're going to want to continue that momentum into the next event, but definitely a great start for them on the bars. Very impressive.
And for Central Michigan, again, facing some of those injuries, as all teams certainly at this point in the season going through their nicks and bruises. The Chippewas only competed 5 on the vaults. So 48.9 to 48.3 after one rotation, and now Central Michigan over on the bars, while Kent State goes to the vault. Chippewas coming in on the bars this year are 4th in the conference, averaging just over a 48.2. That's top 45 in the NCAA, while for Kent State, they are third rather in the vault at 48.7. So we'll see what each of these schools look like coming up here on the second rotation as we continue on here.
Looking to see a great second rotation from each of these girls. Warm-up so far look awesome. The Chippewas are looking to build their score on this event as they are a little bit behind going into the second rotation.
More youth coming up for Central Michigan on the bars. And again, this is a team that, although they bring back some, lost some seniors. As Central Michigan will look to improve there. Christine McDonald trying to get her squad fired up over in the corner. And it sounds like we've got some changes as well coming up in this rotation. That's always a key too as well. You may get what expected at the beginning of the meet, but then changes happen depending on who's struggling or if injuries may happen during the touch warm-ups as well. So that's part of this as well, trying to figure out who's going to step into these slots as this meet continues.
You always have to be on your toes and prepared for lineup changes. It happens quite a bit. You never know what's going to happen in warm-ups or even just touch warm-ups. But these girls train for that and are ready to hop in whenever it's needed.
There's head coach Bryce Biggin giving some last-minute instructions as the Golden Flashes get set to compete here on the vault. up after one rotation here in Mount Pleasant with a 48.9. And that's above their average on the season. So impressive stuff on the bars to get going. Savannah Cotis gets going here for Central Michigan. One of those younger gymnasts for CMU, a freshman out of Augusta, Georgia.
Savannah's been a great lead off for the Chippewas on bars. Very consistent, beautiful form, and you'll see that in this routine today.
Kendra Lindway will lead off for Kent State here on the vaults.
She does a Yurchenko layout pull. Great form in the air. She had that super straight body when she hit the floor. Just a small bounce, but overall a great ball.
So the momentum continues here for the Golden Flashes, starting this second rotation.
Here's Savannah. She typically connects back those two skills together, but she definitely covered it up well. Back to the high bar, she does a blind pull to a double back dismount. She took a pretty big step forward, so that's definitely going to be a deduction, but a great start for the Chippewas.
Her best score at 9.825 on this event. The freshman leading off for CMU. In the meantime, for Kent State, Lindway gets things going on the vault with a 9.825. Another good score for the Golden Flashes.
Definitely an impressive start for their vault lineup.
Next up is the junior, Nasha Manicool Davis, getting set to vault.
I'm wondering if nope, it's not on the table.
An impressive stick there on ball. She did a Yurchenko layout half, which is a blind landing, a super hard ball to land, but she did it well.
Stuck a couple landings on the uneven bars, and now here on the vault as well. It's a team again that's won 8 in a row. Came off a season high 195 against George Washington.
Brenna mounted the low bar, toe blind to Yoder.
I was just checking to see if my remote is on the
low bar with the handstand. So far, great form.
table.
Back up to the high bar. She was a little short on that last handstand. She's going to finish with a double layout dismount. That was a great routine for Brenna.
And that'll get the Chippewas excited. This is one of those stuck landings right there for CMU. Brenna Hauser, the freshman out of Westfield, Indiana. Here's another look.
That was a great routine.
Pretty impressive for a true freshman.
Another stick on ball for Kent State. They're really carrying that momentum through to all of their routines today.
That was Abby Fletcher, the junior. She's been a featured vaulter the last couple of years. And you take a look at that last vault again. Really nicely done. Couple of 9.8s for Kent State. Manicool Davis, 9.8 flat. Lindway leading the way with the 9.825. Now for Central Michigan, Hauser just put up a 9.8. Really good score for the true freshman.
It was. She had a little bit of trouble last week in their last meet, so it definitely always feels good to come back and hit a routine like that.
Now it looks like we'll get Audriana Hammond that'll step in for Central Michigan. So another freshman for CMU getting ready to step in and hopefully contribute for the Chippewas.
So Amy's going to mount the bar from the back side. She does a blind pull. Big Tkachev. She heads down to the low bar for a bail to handstand. Just a little bit of a form break there. Here she goes for her dismount. And unfortunately, she did miss her line pull change, so she's gonna take a breather and hop back up on the bar to finish that routine.
Just her second time competing in the rotation for Central Michigan. She initially did so last week against Southern Utah, had a 9.675. Again, with the fall here, won't have a score like that. We'll see how she finishes, though. It's always important after falling off here to try and finish up that routine on a positive note.
So she goes for that blind pull again and makes it this time to a double back. So they're looking to drop that score. So hopefully the next couple of girls hit so that they won't have to count that towards their bar score.
Sydney Williams, Hannah Demirs, and Janelle Pedrick tasked with picking up their teammate's score coming up for the Chippewas. Here's Carly Franz.
Another year change lap pull. And another great vault for the Golden Flashes. Really impressed by their form in the air and their landings today.
3 scores so far for Kent State. They've had a 9.75 or better. Fletcher with the 9.75, Manicool Davis the 9.8, and Lindway still the leadoff with the 9.825. As the Golden Flashes were on top after one rotation, put up a 48.9 on bars against Central Michigan's 48.3 on the vault. Second rotation here in Mount Pleasant between the Chippewas and the Golden Flashes. Sydney Williams, the redshirt junior, is next up for CMU.
Expect to see some big gymnastics here from Sydney.
A lot of pressure on her after you see the fall, knowing that you got to count the last 3 scores, or you're hoping to count the final 3 scores.
There is, but they train for that stuff. So she's going to go blind pull to Tkachev. She has one of the biggest Tkachevs I've ever seen.
So much hype right there on that top bar moments ago.
So she's back up to the high bar. She's going to finish with a blind pull double tuck. And she sticks that landing.
She
Great
made that
comeback.
look really easy.
Very.
Teammates surrounding her after a big score for Sydney Williams. Just looked like she was up there, very effortless, and the redshirt junior, no problem. Here's the freshman, Olivia Amade.
Another year, Chinko lap, 4 for Kent. She had a little bit of a pike down, which will be a small deduction, but overall it was great ball.
So that was Olivia Amade, the freshman out of Detroit. Fouling up after Franz at a 9.8, couple of 9.8s. 9.825, 9.75. Kent State so far on the vault. Adriana Hammond, by the way, with a 9.2. That's the one the Chippewas are hoping to not have to count, but she was picked up in a big way. The best score so far coming from Sydney Williams just moments ago. She got a 9.825.
Well-deserved score for Sydney there.
Now back to the youth, Anna Demirs, the freshman.
Hannah mounts the back side of the bar. She's going to go toe hand to Tkachev. Another massive Tkachev there. Down to the low bar, bail to handstand. Back up to the high bar. So she's going to finish with 2 giants to a full and dismount. Just a small hop forward look for her, but a great routine.
So after the fall from Hammond, you get Williams, Demirs with that routine, and you've got one of the most reliable gymnasts coming up as the anchor in Danelle Pedrick, and that's why you put her in that spot.
Danelle is an extremely consistent gymnast, and to handle that pressure of the last spot day in and day out, she does it with such grace.
Here's Rachel DeCavich, had the best score on the bars.
Another Yurchenko layout full. She has just a small step back and a little bit of break in her hip angle, but only a small deduction there. A great vault rotation for Kent State.
Without her score, they have a 48.925, which again is above their average so far this season. So 2 scores, and we'll wait on DeCavich's score to see if it raises it up a little bit or not. But either way, Kent State has looked really impressive through the first 2 rotations.
They have. They've done a terrific job.
And DeCavich a 9.7, so they'll keep the 48.925.
Here goes senior Danelle Pedrick. She's going to go Tkachev to start off the routine. And then a little bit of a different routine here than what we've seen. She goes giant full down to the low bar with a pack salto. Beautifully done. And then a unique dismount here for Danelle. She's going to go blind full, toe on. Beautiful stick. She definitely picked up a great routine there, and the Chippewas are lucky not to have to count that fall.
Very impressive from CMU. Hammond, unfortunately, couldn't stay on, had to come off the bars with the 9.2, but after that, Williams, a 9.825. Demers, a 9.9, and Pedrick's score is going to be good just as well.
I'm expecting a big score from her.
Kent State unofficially right now with a 97.825 overall and a 48.925 on the vault. Best score going to Kendra Lindway. She really set the tempo again, following up from what they did on the bars with the 9.825.
Yeah, that's exactly what you want to see in a vault rotation.
All right, we'll get the scores to you when we come back. 2 rotations complete between the Chippewas and the Golden Flat.
We made USA. So when her car got hit, she didn't waste it. AF and said, that was easy. USAA. What you're made of, we're made for. USAA.
This is how they get their money. This is like, why am I more than half of everything sold on Amazon comes from small and medium-sized businesses just as great companies, and you can find them on Amazon.
Just as we expected, good meet so far between 2 rotations, after 2 rotations between Central Michigan and Kent State. Adam Jackson alongside former Central Michigan gymnast Abby Rose Zeller. The Chippewas and the Golden Flashes just finishing up on both the vaults and the uneven bars. We start on the vault and take a look at Lindway's performance.
She had a great vault for Kent State. You see she landed with that chest up, beautiful stick. Here is Hannah Bars, the freshman. A massive Tkachev for her. She was out of lineup back last week, and to see her back in today and to do a 9.9 performance like that. Very impressive dismount for her.
There it was right there to wrap up the rotation before Danelle Pedrick stepped in. You had the fall with CMU, but again, they did a great job, Abby, of stepping in. It started with Sydney Williams, and then Demirs and Pedrick each coming through with really good scores to give CMU a 49.075 on that second rotation.
There's always a little bit of added pressure when there's a fall, especially mid-lineup. But that's what the girls train for in practice. They train for those uncomfortable situations, and obviously their training paid off today.
And for Hannah, she's fighting a little bit of an injury. She's normally one of the best vaulters on the team. Didn't compete in that because of the injury, so stepped up in a big way while she still was able to go up there on the uneven bars.
Yeah, it definitely sucks a little bit not seeing her in the all-around tonight, but for her to step in for the bar lineup, that's what they needed.
So Central Michigan's best scores on the bars, a 9-9 from both Hannah Demirs and from Danelle Pedrick. On the other side for Kent State, they've had two really solid rotations. Kendra Linway, the leader for the vaults, a 9.825 for Kent State, a 48.925. They've had two 48.9s or better with the bars and the vault. They've got a 97.825. Leading Central Michigan's 97.375 after two rotations.
Kent's had a great first two rotations, but as Central heads into the beam, they're looking to close that gap in between their scores.
And for the Chippewas, coming up on the balance beam, 48.58 is their average. This has been the weakest spot of their team this year, so we'll see how they step up. Again, their first opportunity to compete at home. Nice crowd on hand in Mount Pleasant. And it'll be Sierra DeMarinis as she gets some last-minute encouraging words from head coach Christine McDonald. It's a tough spot to stand in and lead off the balance beam rotation.
Yeah, you always want to start off with a bang, but Sierra does have experience on this event, so we're looking to see a great routine out of her.
It's her second year in the lineup, the sophomore out of Montgomery, Massachusetts.
She's going to start off with a back handspring back layout for her series. Great work there. Cat lead to a switch side, which is new for Sierra. That's that required lead combination that you'll see in every routine. Front aerial to a beat jump, beautifully done.
She looks really steady so far.
She does, just the dismount left to go. Sierra's gonna do a round off 1.5 dismount. And she sticks that landing. That was an amazing start for CMU on the balance beam.
Great work from Sierra DeMarinis.
Exactly what you want to see.
First time competing today for the sophomore, and she gets the Chippewas off to an excellent start in this third rotation. Now for Kent State, Sarah McCarty will lead off on the floor exercise. McCarty, a senior out of Mount Wolf, Pennsylvania. Kent State has not really faltered at all so far in this meet. They've been really good at hitting through their routines in the first couple of rotations on vault and bars. We'll see if that continues on the floor.
Floor has always been one of Kent State's strongest events, so I'm expecting another great rotation here. She goes front tuck through to double back. Great first pass.
Kent State with the second best average on the floor this year in the Mid-American Conference at a 48.795 coming into this afternoon. McCarty coming off a season-high performance with a 9.825 on the floor against Cornell in their most recent victory. Their 8th straight coming into today's meet.
Sarah's getting ready to go into her second pass. Very dramatic floor music. I like it. surprised she only did a 2-pass routine, which typically you see 3 passes in college gymnastics, but as long as you fulfill those requirements, it looks like she did.
So shouldn't expect that to affect her score at all, even though she did just 2 passes.
Not at all. This is mainly up on beam. This is only her 2nd time competing the balance beam.
She was inserted into the balance beam rotation at Southern Utah last week. And again, another freshman stepping in, yep.
Here's her series, back handspring, back layout. Beautiful series for her. Really pretty artistry by Maylee. She goes switch leap, straddle quarter, a little bit of a bobble there. That'll be a small deduction. Cat leap, so side aerial, beautifully done. She's looking very confident up there. There's that signature fire up. And just a dismount left to go for her. She goes round off, 1.5. Only a small step forward on that dismount. That was a very impressive routine for Maylee.
Saw the step on the dismount there and that little bobble you mentioned, but other than that, she really did look confident up there and had a very smooth routine.
Very solid performance.
Excellent
Definitely
job.
carrying that momentum.
A sophomore and a freshman doing good things for Central Michigan to lead off the beam rotation. Sierra DeMarinis and Maylee Vanderbeek. And we go back to the floor. And this is Nasha Manicool-Davis. She's tied for first this year with one of the best MAC scores on the floor. Against George Washington, she had a 9.925, so she's got a ton of experience, does a really good job in this exercise.
Her first pass was a big double pipe. She's going to head right back into that 2nd pass. Front layout, front full. That fulfills the necessary 2-pass requirement. Switch side cobra for her lead pass there. Just that last pass left. Gonna go round off that handspring, double tuck. Very nice routine for her.
Kent State on a mission so far this afternoon. Another great routine. This one from Nasha Manicool-Davis, the junior out of Greenwood, Indiana. Following up the 9.75 that Sarah McCarty got for Central Michigan. DeMarinis at 9.85, Vanderbeek at 9.775. Here's Mackenzie Parker.
Kenzie's going to start off with her series. Another round off or back handspring back layout from her. Very nicely done. Mackenzie's always been beautiful to watch on this event. Switch lead. Unfortunately, she does come off the beam. So that will be a ball that Central will be looking not to count tonight.
And we saw that same exact thing from them on the uneven bars in the 3rd spot.
A round off 1.5 to finish off that routine for Mackenzie.
Tough for Mackenzie Parker. You don't usually see that from her. She's very trustworthy. They like her in that 3rd spot because she normally hits, but Same as we just saw on the uneven bars. They're going to be looking for the back end of the rotation to try and pick up their score right now as Kent State continues to compete really well here in Mount Pleasant. And you can see the encouraging words right there from first-year head coach Christine McDonald. Carly Franz now on the floor for the Golden Flashes. Manicold Davis with a 9.8, best score so far on the floor for Kent State. Had it just moments ago.
Carly starts off with a very impressive double Arabian. That's a big E pass for her. You won't see very many of those. Very nicely passed. Showing off her personality here on the floor. She's getting prepared for her second pass now. She ends with a Rudy back layout step out. Big pass for her. It looks like she's going to only be doing 2 passes as well.
Very unique. Again, it's usually pretty much guaranteed you're going to see 3 passes, but a couple of Golden Flashes doing just a couple.
There's been a little bit of a rule change as far as floor this year. We need 6 tenths, where it used to be you only were required to get 5 extra tenths. But as long as you get those requirements, 2 passes are fine. Beautiful mount there from Savannah.
Savannah Cotis, freshman for CMU, up on the beam.
She has such pretty artistry and flexibility. She's going to start off with her series. This front aerial, a little crooked to back handspring, back handspring. But I think she still managed to pull out that connection there. Switch lead, split 3/4. Looking good so far up there. She's going to head into her dismount, which is a side aerial. Back full in a tuck position. A great routine for Savannah.
Good job by the freshman there after the fall from Mackenzie Parker. Franz, in the meantime, a 9.825. The Golden Flashes continue to get better and better up there throughout this floor rotation. 9.75, 9.8, 9.825. I talked about some of the freshmen competing for Central Michigan. A couple of freshmen stepping up in a big way for Kent State. Here's another one in Rachel DeCavich.
Going into her first pass. Another huge Arabian. You see that she does a jump out of that. That helps cover up any landing reductions that there might be. Potentially expecting to see another 2-pass routine. Setting up for that second pass. She's going to go front tuck through with double tuck. Ends with just down a little bit, but overall that was a fantastic routine with some big skills.
She's having a great year so far. Rachel DeCavage won the all-around a couple of times this year against Cornell, and George Washington competing well today, once again for Kent State. Here's Morgan Tong stepping up to the beam for CMU.
Morgan does a press handstand now. Really sets her apart. For her series, she's going to go front aerial, back handspring, back layout. Beautiful done. Morgan's been very consistent on this event so far this season. Switch lead, a big ring jump. You actually lose sight of the beam during that jump. Just a dismount left for Morgan. She's going to go side aerial, back layout full, and a great stick, and overall just a very impressive routine for her.
Sophomore out of Ontario, Morgan Tong. Was a vaulter, beam, and floor all last year for Central Michigan as they won the MAC regular season title. Trying to catch up here against the Golden Flashes, who have been excellent so far this afternoon. On all three rotations, we go over now to Abby Fletcher.
She sets up for her first pass. She's going to go round off back handspring. Huge double layout. Seen a lot of big E passes out of Kent State today on the floor. That was her lead pass there. With that 3 combination lead pass, we might see another 2-pass routine again here from Abby. Gonna set up for that second pass. Round off 1.5. Front layout full. Very nicely done. Another great routine for Kent State on floor.
Abby Fletcher, the junior. 2-time floor MAC champ the last couple of years. She's showing you why right there. Another great routine for her. Here comes Danelle Pendrick, the anchor for CMU.
Very unique mount there for Danelle. Showing off some flexibility here. Here's that required full turn again. She sets up for her series. She's going to go back handspring, back layout. Very nicely done. Hat lead, switch half, beautiful 180 split in the air. That's something that the judges really look for. A little bit of a wobble there in that front area. She covered it up well though. Made the dismount left. She does a round off double full dismount. And she sticks that landing. Only a little bit of a wobble there in the middle, but overall that was a great way to end the beam rotation.
Great balance up there to fend off that wobble right there, as you mentioned. It's a big deduction going off the balance beam rather than staying on right there, and the Chippewas needed to count that score.
She definitely used all of her muscles to stay on that beam.
She held on, and that'll pay off for Central Michigan as they wait for the score. Morgan Tong, a 9.85. Along with Sierra DeMarinis, both with the best scores so far for CMU. Here's the last one for Kent State. Jade Brown, the senior.
routine. Here she goes into her first pass. Round off that handspring. Massive double cut.
These two anchors, Fletcher and Brown, both tied for the MAC championship last year on the floor. So a great way to finish off your routine if you're Kent State.
She heads into her second pass here. Front layout, front lead. And that's a 1.5 going forward. There's that necessary lead there. She is going to do the 3 passes, so she sets up for her last pass here. Round off that handspring double tuck. It's been a very impressive floor rotation for Kent State. All of their routines have been super solid.
We have seen that across the board from them today. They've come ready to compete, started on bars, continued with vaults, and the same there on floor for Kent State.
Just one rotation to go.
Yeah, one more to go between Central and Kent State. Right now it's close. It looks like Kent State's got the lead. We'll give you the official scores when we come back for the final rotation in Mount Pleasant.
We made USAA insurance for busy veterans like Kate. So when her car got hit, she didn't waste any time. She filed a claim on her USAA app and said, that was easy. USAA, what you're made of, we're made for. USAA.
Lexios. Add toilet paper to the shopping list. Oh, and camel milk.
And a chicken. And moisturizer.
Thanks, guys. I'll take it from here.
Back in Mount Pleasant, 3 rotations complete, and right now it's Central Michigan and Kent State battling it out. The Golden Flashes with a 146.850. Central Michigan a 146.025. Golden Flashes have the lead. They've been excellent. Fletcher standing out with a 9.825. Abby Fletcher in that last rotation.
It was a great routine by Abby Fletcher. A lot of personality in that routine as well.
You can see her hanging up the phone there at the end to conclude. One of 3 9.825s for Kent State on the floor, and then Morgan Tong, the sophomore, was great.
Another great routine for Morgan. She's been super consistent on this event this year. See a beautiful stick out of that dismount there.
A 9.85 for Morgan Tong. Sierra DeMarinis also a 9.85. So a couple of sophomores stepping up in a big way for the Chippewas. There's Morgan Tong right now. We've talked about it, Abby. This Kent State team coming in, 8 straight wins, and so far, we really haven't seen many mistakes from them on bars, vault, or floor. They have been excellent top to bottom, and if that continues on the balance beam, they're going to find a way to win this. For Central Michigan, they've just got to have hit routines to try and get back into this in the final rotation.
Yeah, Penn State started off super strong in the bars, and they have not missed a beat since then. As for Central, they're looking to have 6 very good routines here. That's what they need out of this last rotation. They need clean gymnastics and good landings on all of their passes.
Kent State looking for some payback after the Chippewas came to the MAC Center last year and won a very close battle. It's the 83rd all-time meeting. Chippewas have won 49 of them. And the Golden Flashes looking for their first conference win of the season. They would love to get it against their rivals with the way they've competed. That's the updated scores through 3 rotations. 146.85, 146.025 for Central Michigan. North Henninger leading off for CMU. Again, just back into the lineup. She's dealt with some injuries this year, but they're hoping for a big start from her to lead off the floor exercise coming up in just about 45 seconds. And for Kent State, they know they put together a clean rotation here. They're going to have a great shot to get out of Mount Pleasant with a victory. But you finish on the road. That's the tough thing about coming in. You don't get the Olympic-style rotation. Always difficult to end on the balance beam.
Yeah, balance beam is a more tough rotation to end on, but so far they've chosen great poise, and I'm expecting to see a great last rotation for them on the balance beam.
You have to give credit so far to Bryce Biggin's squad. They have looked really good. 8-1 overall. And this is it. Can they finish it off here in Mount Pleasant, or do the Chippewas? They put together a great rotation. We're about to find out. Cammie Klein starts off on the balance beam for Kent State. Her first time competing this afternoon.
Pep talk from her coach before she gets up on the balance beam.
Got to be a lot of thoughts going through your head at this point as a gymnast as you're getting ready to get up there on the balance beam.
Here she goes. That full turn, and she's going to head right into her series. Back handspring, back layup, step out. A little bit of a form deduction there in her legs. You see a little bit of a bend. There's a beat jump to split full. She had a little bit of a low back leg. The judges are definitely wanting to see a 180 split on all of those jumps. Cat leap. Side aerial, just a zone jump. That'll be some extra bonus points there. And a cat leap gainer full and a stuck landing for her.
We've seen a lot of those today from the Golden Flashes.
Definitely the start Kent State wants on beam.
Now here's Nora Fettinger for CMU.
Similar to what Kent State did on the floor, Nora's going to be doing 2 passes as well. She starts with a 2.5 twist to a front top. There's her lead pass. There's that fire up. Switch side, Copa. Nice 180 splits there from Nora. Nora's going to finish up with a new pass. This is actually her first time competing this skill. She's going to go round up back handspring double tuck. A little bit of a bounce back, but a good start for the Chippewas.
Nice work there from Nora Fettinger to lead off for CMU. Olivia Awade, a freshman out of Detroit, up next on the balance beam for Kent State.
start off with her series combination. Back handspring, back layout. It's a very common series that we see in collegiate gymnastics. She goes hat lead to a front toss, and unfortunately was not able to stay on the balance beam, so that will be a fall for Kent State.
The first one we've seen today from the Golden Flashes on any rotation.
Split jump, straddle free corner, just a little bit shy at 180 on that split jump. That'll be a small deduction. She finishes with a front fold dismount, small step forward. Ken will be looking to drop that routine.
That's the first time again today Kent State will face that type of adversity. We'll see how they bounce back. Samantha Henry will go next for Kent State. In the meantime, back to the floor, Sierra DeMarinis.
Here she goes for her first pass. Sierra's going to go round off back handspring double tuck. She lands with that chest up, which is exactly what the judges are looking for. A fun routine here for Sierra. She's going to set up for her second pass. Goes right into a double pike. A little bit of a chest down on that pass. That'll be a small deduction. Just the third pass to go. That's a back 1.5, front layout, beautifully done. Other than that chest down in that second pass, overall it was a great routine for Sierra.
Good job there by the sophomore, Sierra DeMarinis, all around. Second year in the lineup for Christine McDonald. 9.75 for Nora Fettinger on that first routine. Meantime, at 9.75 for Klein. Amade, the 8.975 as she fell off. So this routine becomes very important here. Samantha Henry stepping up.
She's going to start with a cat lead front toss to a beat jump.
The best score came against Cornell this year, 9.75. Second year in the lineup, up on the balance beam for the Golden Flashes.
Series, she goes back handspring, back layout, step out, and another fall for Kent State on the balance beam. Definitely had some turning in her hips there, which caused her to come off the beam on that second flip. Beat jump, split full. Just that dismount left to go. She does a cat lead, gator pull off the side. She does stick that dismount.
So the Golden Flashes are going to have to count a fall. Certainly hurt their score here. They came in with the lead here after 3 rotations, up 146.85 to 146.025. We go back to the floor here. Morgan Tong.
Morgan's going to do front tuck through to round off back handspring double back. Pretty big step back there, but she was able to stay in balance. There's a lead pass, switch half, flip full. Fun routine here for Morgan. heads into her second pass. She's going to do back handspring, 1.5, front pike. Very nicely done. Last pass, takes a deep breath in the corner. She does a round off back handspring, double pike. And that's exactly what you want to see on that last pass. Chippewas are going to be happy with that routine.
Really nice job today from Morgan Tong. Had one of the best scores up on the balance beam for Central Michigan with a 9.85, and that should be a really nice score for her as well on the floor. This is Riley Danielson stepping up for Kent State, sophomore out of Minnesota.
Starts off their routine with a front aerial to a back tuck. That's a unique series. You don't see that very often. Front toss, just a slight wobble.
Coming into this afternoon, Riley with the third best average in the Mid-American Conference up on the balance beam with a 9.85.
Riley has beautiful high toes. That was the lead combination there. Switch, switch. Just a dismount left. Back handspring, back layout. Oh, that was a very unique routine. She did a lot of gymnastics back into that 1 minute, 15-second game routine. Another freshman here on the floor for the Chippewas. This is Taylor.
First time we've seen Taylor Pitchell today.
She's going to start with a big double pike. Textbook right there. That's exactly how you want to see it. The leap is a switch side, straddle pull. She's going to head into her second pass. Front layout, front pull. Very nicely done. Heading into her third pass, she does a round off back handspring double tuck. That's exactly what the Chippewas need. A great routine from the freshman.
You can see how pumped up she is. Taylor Pitchell getting greeted with giant hugs from all her teammates. Good score there for the freshman. Certainly seems to be coming. The Wethersfield, Connecticut native. 3.97 plus scores up there for Central Michigan. Morgan Tong leading the way with the 9.775. Sydney Williams and Danelle Pedrick will finish off for Central Michigan on the floor. We go back to the balance beam and Rachel DeCavich.
Wow, very unique mount there. Shows a lot of strength there. She starts off with a cat leap, front toss, feet jump. Very nicely done. Full turn. She's going to set up for her series here. Back handspring. Huge layout, step out. She got a lot of air in that flip there. Cat leap, switch half. So far, a jam-packed routine. She's going to finish up with a back handspring, 1.5, and she sticks that landing. Good comeback routine for Kent State.
What a performance by the freshman today. Rachel Dekavich had the best score on the uneven bars for the Golden Flashes at 9.85. Sydney Williams helped Central Michigan put together good scores on the uneven bars. She's going out on the floor now, redshirt junior.
Expect to see a lot of personality in this routine. Some big tumbling from Sydney. She's going to start off with a round-off back handspring double pike. Switch ring to switch half of her lead pass. The third pass left for Sydney. She's going to finish with a round-off back handspring double top. It was a great pass. Another great routine on floor for CMU.
Excellent job by Sydney Williams, redshirt junior. Trying to follow up the 9.875 that Taylor Pitchell just got. Best score coming from the true freshman Danielle Pedrick, the last to compete for CMU on the floor. Here's Abby Fletcher, the final competitor for Kent State after the 9.875 from Dekavich.
Series here, back handspring, back layout. Slight wobble. Goes hat lead, switch side. She hits that 180 split. Unique turn for her there. Only the dismount left to go. So far, a great routine. Very unique dismount there for Abby.
That's big for the Golden Flashes. They won't have to count that 9.225 from Henry. She wasn't able to fall on the 8.975 rather, from Amadei. In the meantime, Patrick and the Chippewas will finish up here on the floor.
Nell's going to start off her routine with a very unique triple full. You don't see that often. A little bit of a bounce back, but overall a great first pass. Lead pass. And for her second pass, she's going to go round off 1.5, front layout. Showing off her personality here. Just one pass left to go for Janelle. Round off back handspring, double pike. Beautiful third pass. Another great routine for Janelle.
Can always count on consistency, and a great score coming from the senior Danielle Pedrick. we wait for the scores to be totaled up. As Pedrick will finish off here, wait for that score. Right now, Kent State up on the board with a 195.05. And it's going to depend on Danelle Pedrick's score. As expected, this one coming right down to the last routine.
Doesn't surprise me at all. These two teams, every time they compete in a dual competition, it typically comes down to that last routine. A little bit of a nail biter here.
Mitchell had the 9.875. That's the best so far for CMU. And Kent State, Central Michigan, all waiting for this last score. And it's a 9.85. And it's dead even right now are the scores. 195.075 for both Kent State and Central Michigan.
That's not something that you see every day. I bet these judges are going to crunch some numbers. See if there's anything that they can get back on either side. This is Mackenzie on the floor in the exhibition spot. She starts off with a round up 1.5 front layout. Getting ready for her second pass here. Round off back handspring double pipe. Lands a little bit low. And was able to pull out that pass. There's her leap there. And only that third pass left to go. And they surprised me again with those 2 pass routines. But great job for Mackenzie.
So that's finished up the exhibitions for both Central and Kent State. Now we wait for the final scores, but right now we've got a tie up there at a 195.075 between Central and Kent State. As you see the judges deliberating right now, trying to figure it out. Right now, I'm not sure who won this thing.
We're not sure. As you can see, both coaches are in the corners. They're going through score sheets, seeing if there's challenges that can be made. It isn't common that you see those challenges, but with a meet like this, I don't know if you can go away with a tie in gymnastics.
This was the last rotation we just saw from Central Michigan on the floor. The Chippewas were down coming into this 4th rotation. What did you see from them to get them back into this one? Because they really competed well. Have a 49 flat up on the board for their final 4th rotation on the floor.
Chippewas definitely stepped it up in that 4th rotation. They put together a really great floor lineup. All scores above 9.7, and as you see, they hit that 49 mark, which is really the goal for all these teams on every event.
How about a true freshman, Taylor Pitchell, with the best score at 9.875, and Central Michigan needed that.
Yeah, she's been working through a little bit of adversity on that event, but that was a great routine and a great score, and definitely what the Chippewas needed.
Again, right now we're tied after 4 rotations as the judges continue to look at this. It's very unique to finish with the identical score just because there's so many little things that go into each routine and every rotation, and to see them end tied 195.075, you don't see that a lot. So the judge is trying to figure this out, see if we've got a winner here. Overall, really good meet, though, for both teams to come out with a 195. We talked about it, Central Michigan hadn't had a 195 outside of their first couple of meets, but they had their first opportunity to come home, and they performed pretty well here.
Yeah, Kent did a great job on the road. That's another high road score that they're going to be able to count towards their regional qualifying score. And then for Central Michigan, to be back at home and to finally break out of that 194 range is really what they wanted to do tonight.
Well, both teams, really nice job here. 195.075. You see the scores identical. Have you ever seen something like this before?
I have not. I've seen it come down to the quarter 10th multiple times, but I've never seen the tie happen. Especially with a big meet like this, being that it is a conference meet. I'm not sure what they're going to do.
Well, we're going to find out here shortly. Again, last year, Abby was talking about how close it was in Kent. Chippewas won with a 195.175 score, while Kent was in the high 194s. It was a very close meet. And right now we are dead even after 4 rotations. Get a lot of cheering from Kent State right now, as they think maybe they have to send one. Nothing official yet from the judges. You see Christine McDonald right there. Tense moments here late for both Central Michigan and Kent State. Again, a tie here at 195.075. We're waiting to hear if one of those scores is going to change or not. Just heard a lot of celebrating from the Golden Flashes. And in the meantime, for Central Michigan, they seem a little disappointed, but we haven't seen any official score come up yet between these two teams.
I'm not sure how they came to a conclusion or what they looked at, but Kent State seems pretty excited right now.
Still no determining factor on what the final score is here between Central Michigan and Kent State. And it looks like they have updated the scores, and they've got Kent State at a 195.175 to Central Michigan's 195.075. So just as we were suspecting, it looks like Kent State has pulled through. They must have challenged and found some extra points in there. They're going to win their 9th straight meet. They pick up their first conference victory of the season against their rivals here in Mount Pleasant.
It was a super close competition. Great job by both teams.
All right, well, that's going to wrap this one up. Thanks for stopping in. Big win for Kent State. They improved to 9-1 and 1-1 in the conference. Central Michigan 3-4 and now 1-2 as they fall at home. For Abby Roseller, Adam Jackson saying goodbye from Mount Pleasant.
For more full college gymnastics meets, hit the big red button and subscribe. Peace out, YouTube.